What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Yeah. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghost in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Welcome to the pod, no cap, it's a seance. Whispers in the static, spirits doing dance. Reptiles in suits, yeah, running the lands. MK Ultra made a puppet of your mans. Wendigo hunger, dogman strut, flat woods, eyes glow. Slice through the cut, Bigfoot tagging trees. Marking the trail, weird ones ride, no room for the frail. Talking about trauma, talking that soul. Peeling back layers, we dig in a hole. Sacred geometry, numbers align. Ancestors speak through the veil in the sign. Ayahuasca dreams, third eye lit. Shadow self lurking, we making it spit. No mainstream lies. This the dirt where the weird ones rise from the blood and the hurt. Weird ones only, we talking that truth. Ghosts in the attic, yeah, show me the proof. Aliens creeping, they light in the roof. Minds wide open, we shatter the booth. Conspiracies deep, we dig in the scars. Demons and angels and bodies on Mars. Cryptids be watching, they lurk in the dark. Mental on edge, but we glowing like stars. Voices in the woods got chills on the neck. Black-eyed kids at the door, now we check. CIA tapped in, fluoride drip. Project Bluebeam, watch that script. Talking about grief, talking about fear. Talking about why them voices appear. Healing the mind while breaking the chain. Spiritual warfare deep in the brain. We don't run from the strange, we live in the strange. Tattoo the truth and the scars and the pain. Stay weird, the mantra we own in the name. Reality bends, so we bend to the same. From the attic to the swamp, we tracking the freak. Where the veil get thin and the silence speak. We ain't your norm, we off that grid. Weird as the wave, yo, this where we live.
Hey, this is Rochelle Stratton, and you are listening to Kevin with Where the Weird Ones Are. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that. And if you did not, now you do. Today's episode is with Kaz and Rachel from the Paranormal podcast. They're also paranormal investigators. And I have to say, um, they were a lot of fun to talk to. I can't can't lie. Their stories are super interesting and fun. They were just full of energy, and I really enjoyed laughing and just chatting with them. I think they're phenomenal people, and I think you guys should go check out their podcasts. Podcast if you're interested. They have a YouTube channel and all that stuff, and I'm gonna put all their links in the show notes. Obviously, you already know that. But quick shout out to the sponsor, Flavors of the Forest, raw garlic dust. Go get yourself some. If you haven't already, you're missing out. It is the best garlic powder on the market. This stuff you wanna put on your food after you cook, not while you're cooking, but I digress. I think it tastes phenomenal regardless of how you use it. I put it on everything, and I definitely think that you will not be disappointed. So, with that being said, you can find them at flavorsforest.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at flavorsforest. So, go check them out. Raw garlic dust, Bigfoot's breath. Go get you some. Also, I know I say this every week. There's a lot of things I say every week. If you are experiencing any kind of mental distress, please, here in the United States, dial 988, the mental distress hotline. They're equipped to help you with any mental distress problems. They can hook you up with resources. They can talk to you, all that stuff. I was driving down to New Hampshire the other day, and I was crossing the bridge from Maine into New Hampshire, the Piscataqua Bridge, and, I think it was a few months ago, at early on, I want to say maybe September, October, late September, early October, either or. Um, a classmate of my kids had decided to jump off said bridge. Um, and you hit the water from that bridge, you're not surviving. Okay. So, but I was driving across that bridge the other day to go to my daughter's wrestling meet, and um they had a sign out there for 988, and I think it's super important. Um we need we need to take care of each other, ourselves, and stick around for the people that love us, you know? I know it's especially this time of year, it really sucks. But for a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are missing loved ones, or I'm not going to get into it, but I just want you to know that you are loved and there is a huge hole that you will be leaving behind. So please take care of yourself, if not for me, for yourself. If not for your loved ones, for yourself. God created this whole entire place, and he looked through the cosmos at the stars and at everything on earth and decided that it needed one of you, and you're here. So keep on keeping on, you know? Um, yeah, I think that's it. So please like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. Um, if you choose, if you want to, anyway. I really don't care if you do. Um, I just appreciate you being here. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's good enough for me. I just I'm just happy that you guys are here. So, anywho, I would like to say also, if your podcatcher does not allow you to leave a rating and review, you can do so on the website where the weird ones are, podcast@gmail.com. That is also where you can get merch, hot sauce, coffee, and supplements, and some short stories that I've written. So go check it out if you want to. Again, you don't have to do anything that I'm asking you to do. You can just continue listening, because that is what I appreciate anyway, you know? But if you want to be on this show, hit me up at where the weird ones are at gmail.com, or on Instagram where underscore the weird ones are. We can talk about your weird occurrences and a whole bunch of other shit if you're interested, or if you just need somebody to talk to, man, I'm here. You know, if you're feeling any kind of distress, or if you just want to chat, I could totally just chat with you. We don't have to record for an episode, but if you want to be on for an episode, just let me know and we can do that shit. So, if you want to tell your stories publicly anyway. So, that's all I got for you. So let's get into the show with Kaz and Rachel. You won't be disappointed. They're lovely ladies, and I wish them nothing but the best. And I'm definitely gonna be staying in contact with them. They are amazing. I really like I said, I really had a lot of fun chatting with them. So I hope you guys enjoy them and their stories tonight, or today, or this morning, whatever time you've decided to turn this shit on. So, where the weird ones go production. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. Oh, my camera's down here now. My bad. I was looking up there. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. I got two lovely ladies with me today, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves to you
and it should be a lot of fun. So if you guys don't mind letting the good people know a little bit about yourselves, who you are, and where they can find you and your podcast.
So I'm Rachel, and then we've got
I'm Kaz.
and we are the paranormal duo of the podcast Paranormal, A as in EH, because we are Canadian. I'm the founder of the Paranormal Seekers, which is also obviously Canadian, a paranormal investigative group that I founded 22 years ago now. So 2004 is when I founded it, and Kaz is also part of the team. We also have 7 other members. But we are the podcast, and you can find us on Spotify or Amazon Music, iHeartRadio up in Canada here, or on the internet, on Facebook and Instagram. So it's Paranormal Podcast. So PAREHNORMAL. That's us in a nutshell.
And if you want a good laugh, find us on YouTube, and then you'll get to see the hilarious faces we make during a thing.
That's awesome. I should probably follow your YouTube, because sometimes I watch YouTube occasionally. I try not to. I feel like I don't do podcasts, like listen to podcasts through YouTube, just because I'd rather listen to it while I'm doing something. But you can do that with YouTube too, regardless. So when I first started my podcast, I was like, nobody's going to want to sit here and stare at my face. But every week there's about 10 people that are like, I'll look at his face and his guess, I guess. So,
hey, listen,
it's a good resource.
If people are going to make fun of us, because, when you play those YouTube videos and you pause them at certain places, you get the weirdest looking faces. So I said, what, if that's going to happen, I'm going to beat everybody to it. So we also do a little, YouTube, it's not really on YouTube, but, Instagram and TikTok. We do a Faces of Podcasts, where it's just us, it's me capturing the awful faces that we make during our podcast.
We're a little animated when we speak, and it is clearly portrayed in a lot of those Faces of Podcasts that every episode has one.
Oh, yeah.
That's how bad they are.
Yes.
That sounds fun. That sounds super fun.
It is.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out now for sure. So,
Enjoy.
So I just wanted to let you know, I forgot to let you guys know before we started recording that while we're recording, sometimes it'll look like it's glitching, or I might freeze, or you guys might look like you're freezing, but it's really, you're not. And it comes out clear at the end result. So too. I just didn't know.
I might freeze too, because I'm watching, my internet keeps going in and out. So I might just freeze a little, give some really good faces, but it comes right back. So I'm having a hard time tonight because it's cold up here.
Yes, it's very cold here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was -6 here this morning. It was definitely -6 yesterday. I know that for sure.
Is that
Fahrenheit? I'm sorry, Fahrenheit. Yes, Fahrenheit, not Celsius. Because here in America, we had to change everything.
We have to be different.
As soon as we sailed across, we're like, it's inches and not metrics. And we're going to do Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. And everybody else is going to be like, what the fuck's happening?
Oh my gosh, yeah. But
so I think
Celsius here. That's what it feels like.
Oh shit. That's like
Celsius.
I think that's like -15 for us. No, it's not. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I was going to try and sound like I was intelligent, but I just totally fucked that up.
It's too fucking cold is what it is.
Yes.
That exactly. Yes. So 2004 you started the team. And I have to say, in 2004 that was my freshman year of high school. So I was not starting a team.
Well, now I feel old.
Yeah. I
You
was a
don't
bit
look
afraid.
old, so
I honestly thought he was about to say, "Oh, I was just being born," and I was gonna be like, "Click, goodbye, I'm out." No.
So yeah, 2004. I have been doing this now for more than half of my life.
wow. That's cool though. I like that.
Yeah. Dedication is what it is.
So doing like the investigations and stuff, was that what started the podcast?
Pretty much. So it was like people kept asking, "Do you have a podcast?" I always get asked, "Do you have a book?" No, I don't have a book. I could have a book, but I don't have the time to like put it all together in paper. But so people kept asking about podcasts and stuff. So we're like, you know what, let's give it a try. So we tried it and we liked it and we just kept going with it.
Exactly.
So,
we have a great time.
Yeah, so we talk about like all these like topics. Pretty much anything from like investigations that we've done, so places that we've been to, places we'd like to go to. We talk about, you know, things that people, you know, are interested in. So like road trips to haunted places, or, you know, paranormal TV shows and like our thoughts on them. We've done episodes on psychics and had psychics on there and kind of dived into that. We've also talked, you know, about teams, like this para-unity thing that, you know, people keep going on about, how they keep saying unity, but they really don't want it. Like, we've talked all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed a lot of that para-unity, but not really. Just saying it for the
that's
clicks.
That's a whole podcast topic.
I agree with you. And I'm not an investigator technically right now, and I've already seen some shit. I mean, you get it with every community. You get the paranormal community, the cryptid community, and the conspiracy community, because those are all fields that I cover on this podcast. And a lot of people seem to think that just because, especially the conspiracy community is the worst, I think, when it comes to this topic, because if you don't speak fluidly enough for them, they act like you're the worst person. Like there's no way you're intelligent enough because you can't read your notes quick enough on a podcast. So there's no way that you could have researched this topic to talk about it, you know? And I'm like, you don't need to be able to like speak while reading. All you got to do is click a few buttons and type shit out, and you can find stuff. It's pretty easy. Everybody can do it. But yeah, they're the worst. They're the worst when it comes to what's the word that I'm trying to think of? The gatekeeping. They're like, if you have a guest on your show, and then they're like, well, you got that guest because of me, because you've been talking to me, and they know that we're, you know, it's stupid. But anyways,
it's no different. It's no different for us.
Yeah, I can. Well, yeah, I can see that. We got the Conjuring House drama going on here in New England right now. That's been pretty interesting.
Oh yeah,
with Jason Hawes.
Yeah, I keep seeing him post stuff about it, and I'm like, there's so much drama in this paranormal field. Like, sometimes I think I'm back in high school.
Yeah. Like, sometimes I wish he would have just left it alone.
Yeah, like, even where we are too, there's no border for it, right? Like, it happens everywhere. Right. And up here, we've got other teams are just like, oh, paranormal investigating isn't a competition. And then they try to compete and try to do things better, if you want to call it, than other teams. And it's like, well, if it's not a competition, why are you posting that as if you're trying to compete? And again, you can't compete on a level that you're not on, right? So it's just, it drives me nuts. That's why I stay in my lane and I just go forward. don't branch off.
Yeah, there's a couple here in Maine that I've become pretty good friends with them, and they investigate with their kids and stuff, and they don't video anything. They keep the evidence for themselves. They might share a picture here and there, but they're like, we do it because it's fun. We don't need to show anybody up, and we don't care to have people like talk shit either. So they completely remove themselves out of the community, kind of, in a way. I mean, they still like talk about things and, try and help people out and stuff like that. And they do events and stuff and show people how to ghost hunt, but they don't have like a YouTube or anything. And they had a podcast for a little bit. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they did. And they investigate. It's just the two of them and they're so in love. It's the cutest thing. And then they have 3 kids together, and they investigate with the 3 kids, and it's awesome. It's really cool to like sit there and talk to them about like their investigations and the things that they experience together, and they're a lot of fun. I think that's a cool way to go about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good to spend time like that with your family, even though my other half is part of my team. And he comes out all the time. My kid could care less. Whatever. He's a 13-year-old. He don't care. But like for us, like we share our stuff because that's what we do. But like I've had in the past, other teams get really upset that I was able to secure locations and they can't. Or I was a team full of women, because out of 9 people, only two people on the team are men. But like how a team that, of mostly women was doing better than their team, which was all men. It's just like, what does that matter? Like, it's not my fault. I'm more personable and I know how to, talk to someone or whatever. That's just how I work, Take a lesson. I don't know. Like, don't get mad at me. It's like somebody trying to tell you how to do your job, right?
Right. They obviously haven't heard of the oh god, now I forget their team name. They're called like the Para Beauties or something like that. It's a team of all women, literally only women. The cameramen might be men, but it's like 5 women, and they're all gorgeous too. And they live up to their. I think they might be called Barbie Paranormal Investigators. So I can't freaking remember, but they have a TV show, and they're all women. So they're doing a lot better than a lot of all male investigators. If you want to chalk that up for whoever that team was, but not asking you to name names. Obviously, that's ridiculous. But
I won't name names.
But anyways, so I wanted to ask, one of the things that I wanted to ask you each was, what was your earliest encounter that you can recall that got you interested in doing what you do?
Well, for me, I grew up with it ever since the day I could remember, pretty much the day since I was born. My grandparents' house was haunted, and that's where I would go. Like when my mom and my dad were working, that's where I would go my grandma would babysit me. And they always had experiences. I never once had an experience in that house, but I was always told the stories, and it just continued to happen. Never happened while I was there, or at least I didn't notice anything, but that is what started it for me. And I just kind of grew into it from there.
And for me, similar. Wow. So I did grow up in a haunted house, and it was kind of normalized. And whenever things would happen, my parents would just be like, oh, that's Wolf. So the man Wilfred, who lived in our house before, he died in the house. And so whenever things happen, we would just blame him. And it never really, it was more comforting knowing that he was there than it was, I think, scary. And then so I was born and raised in England. And before we moved to Canada, we sold our house and we moved in with my grandparents. And my mom and I were standing in the hallway talking, and I think they were walkie-talkies, flew off of the wardrobe and landed in between us. And we were like, well, I guess Wolf is coming with us. So it was really interesting. And then when we moved to Canada, which is very different from where I lived in England, like England, there's a cemetery or graveyard every 15 feet, I feel. So in Canada, we lived out in the country. There wasn't a lot going on, and I missed it, I think. And so I started to look into it more, and I loved the shows, and I always wanted to be on them. And I think every Christmas I get like some haunted book, Haunted Ontario or whatever, and I just was really into it, and then lucked out, and I'm living my dream, being part of the Paranormal Seekers and getting to go on investigations.
That's dope. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that a lot. I kind of I was gonna ask you, but I wasn't sure because I could tell a little bit. You lost a little bit of your accent though. So
Yeah, there's certain words that I will always pronounce, but a lot of people are like, "What's going on there? What's happening?
yeah,
What's?"
that's exactly the gymnastics that my brain did as soon as you started talking. When you first came on, I was like, that's interesting.
Exactly. We have friends in the States, and they just thought I was from a different part of Ontario, and that's why my accent was weird. And I'm like, no, I'm like fully English, but it's now like a Canadian twangy, I don't know. I get a lot of, I
How
get
old were
South
you when you moved?
African. I was 14.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it's been
so you
a
were
while.
I'm not gonna ask. Not gonna ask.
Let's just say when the Paranormal Seekers was starting, I was having my first child. So, anyways.
I had my first child 4 years later.
Oh, see?
My son just
All
got his
good.
license. It's been pretty freaking interesting. He wants to do investigations with me too.
Mm-hmm. And
So
you don't let him, or you don't want to, or
I haven't been on any. So we did
Oh.
well. So the last investigation that I did was for cryptids, and it was out in Alabama. And I'm like, hey, you want to go? He goes, I don't want to miss school. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is my kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, if I was 17 or 16 going on 17, I'd have been like, yeah, let's do this shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to school for 2 days. That's awesome.
I took my son, actually, before I joined the Paranormal Seekers, I took my son to one of the public events that actually allow children, because most of them you have to be 16 and older, which I think that's right, because it's different, you know. So I think he was 14 at the time, and we used to watch the shows together and everything, and then I surprised him. And when we got there, I'm like, surprise, we're doing a paranormal investigation. And he was like, what? I think reality set in, and he was scared. And we had some pretty cool experiences that day. So he's not asked to go on another one. But now he's like 16 and is like, whatever. So
6, 7.
whatever. Exactly. I know.
I've been seeing that ever since that started. I've been seeing that fucking number everywhere, and I'm just like, oh my god, the two numbers together is what I mean.
I'm glad mine doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah,
so I don't hear that here. Thank God.
Sometimes I wish when I said about, it sounded like that too. I really do. When I say it and I try and make it sound like that, it doesn't sound cool.
Yeah.
But when you say it, it sounds cool.
I'm glad I sound cool at something. I can at least tell my kid now.
So, what was the first place that that your team investigated? Like what? Like
okay.
So I guess take us back to 2004 and
all right.
Walk us through that.
Have you ever seen the movie Billy Madison with Adam Sandler?
Oh yeah, a million times.
You know his home in that movie.
Yes.
Yep. That's called Parkwood Estates. That's actually just a block 2 blocks from me, from where I live. I live beside it. That was our first investigation.
No shit. For some reason, I always thought that was in New England. For some reason,
No.
I have no idea why.
So the majority of that movie of Billy Madison was filmed in this area in Ontario. So you've got his house there, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that they show you is there, except for the front of the house when he's standing there waiting for the bus is actually completely different, obviously, because that's literally a main road. But the whole property, the pool, all that's there. Most of the schools that he used are in the area. They even use neighborhood kids to like fill his like graduation parties and all that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, one of the girls that I used to work with, way back in the day at a different job, she's actually dating one of the, was it O'Toole's or whatever from the movie? Like she was married to him. And then like Black Creek Pioneer Village in Toronto is where they used to go when they went on their field trip, and he peed his pants. So yeah, so I've also investigated there too, Black Creek Pioneer Village. What a surprise!
Whoa!
Investigated some pretty big places.
That's pretty dope, though. Like this whole time, literally, I never knew that place was located in Canada. I always thought it was Connecticut, but I never looked into it. No. I just knew what it was called, and that was it.
It's literally down the street. I get
that's pretty cool
because I live so close to it. I get letters in my mailbox all the time to say you may hear some simulated gunfire, but don't worry, we're just filming a movie. Or I'll get fireworks for 4 hours straight because they have to film a scene with fireworks, right? So I get all that fun stuff.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's pretty dope. So what was that investigating that like?
Very interesting. So you have to remember, this is 2004. Like the only thing pretty much on TV at this point is Most Haunted, which is UK based, right? Like where Ghost Adventures isn't even out. Ghost Hunters hasn't even started yet. It's just like Most Haunted. So it's just literally British people screaming in the dark. Like that's it. Sorry, Kaz.
It's true.
So we're basically just winging it out there. There is no equipment, so pretty much all we have are video cameras, the big ones that you stick the tape in. That's what we started with. That's how old I am. And then we had audio recorders. They were just starting to come out with digital ones, so we had those. 35 millimeter film cameras, so we are getting these pictures processed. They're not digital. And we had an EMF meter. That is it. There was nothing fancy. There's no SLS cameras. There's no ovuluses. There's no, cat balls. I mean, ghost balls. Whatever. My phone's close by. Now that's all I'm going to get. None of that stuff. Right? So we were just walking in with a hope and a prayer and a really good psychic with us at the time. So if anybody's ever been to Parkwood, they at the time only allowed certain places on their tours. So it wasn't a full tour. You weren't allowed to take pictures or anything and all that. But when we went, we had basement to attic tour. We got to cross the velvet rope, go into rooms that were cordoned off or turned into offices. We got to take pictures, all that kind of stuff. Weren't allowed to share a lot of things because of the sensitive nature of some of the stuff that was brought up and the fact that there are still living descendants in this area. But it was definitely interesting.
That's pretty cool. Did anything like spook you out, or
no?
Was it just cool?
Nothing really. You're talking about a person who decided sleeping at Hinsdale was a great idea. I just crashed out right on the couch. Done. Gone.
I fell asleep at the Conjuring house, so. But I still get scared.
Kaz is going to laugh because I tell this. The only thing, if this didn't happen, I probably would still be sleeping there right now. If I woke up to team members of mine screaming like something was, I don't even know. It was like blood curdling screaming, and it was my name. They were screaming my name, and I kind of cracked my eye, and I was like, oh fuck, I missed an apparition. Like, I thought something amazing happened, and I was done, right? Like, I was sleeping. You know, no. It was a fucking bat in the house.
Wait. It was not just a bat. It was a pterodactyl-sized bat in the dark, swooping at us after we literally thought, oh, it was so big.
It was a bat.
And the best part is in the Hinsdale house, they have CCTV cameras everywhere. So they've watched all of it unfold. Remember, we're in the dark. We're all huddled.
Mm-hmm.
We're all like on pins and needles because we feel like something's about to happen. And then, whoo, and I'm like, what was that? And then Jay's like, I see something. And we're like, oh my God. And then somehow we realized it was a bat. And then all hell broke loose. And then, yes, someone's like, Rachel! And one of the ex-police officer on our team, he teleported from one side of, like, he moves so fast. I didn't even see him move. Leaves his wife to fend for herself. He's now cowardly hiding in the corner. Oh my God.
Tapping me on the way by to make sure I'm awake now. Yeah, me and my other half lady, we were the ones that got the bat out of the house while everybody was still cowering.
It was great. I held up a sheet so it couldn't come back in our thing. I participated in the rescue of the team.
But yes.
It was pretty, and that was at like 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect time to terrify us all.
It's fucking Dracula, I swear.
Oh my God. It was great times.
Hey man, I'll admit this. Bats are terrifying in a small place, in a small condensed area inside of a house. I've had two, I called them bat attacks, but they weren't really attacking me, they were just flying. So but they were both scary because the first time, actually both of them, I didn't know what the hell it was, and I just dropped to the floor, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And these are in my house, the house where I live, that this is happening in. And I think I had a wreath on my door at one point, and I had opened the door, and I don't think it was a bat, but I think it was birds. And when I opened the door, my dining room table's right there, and I think they came off of my wreath from the door. And because they're scared, they're like, "What the fuck's happening? Our house is moving!" And they jumped off the wreath and got on my table. And as I'm shutting the door, these two fucking flying things, I still say they're birds. It was dark, so I don't know. They could have been bats. And they flew right at one of them, hit me right in the face, and I'm like, and they just fly out the door. And I was like, holy shit, what the hell was that? Then I had to turn all of the lights on in the house.
That wasn't our first bat encounter either. We had another location during a public event that had a bat in it where everybody was screaming and running and falling. And here I am scooping the thing and getting it outside. The only thing in both situations that I seriously remember was thinking, I need to cover my hair. I don't want it in my hair. Because I have very long hair. You can't see now, but it's because it's up. But I have long hair, and I don't need a bat in my hair.
Nobody needs that. That sounds like a whole lot of mess that nobody wants to deal with. I'm just glad that I don't live in Malaysia where there are fox bats.
Okay, big giant ones.
Yeah, they're like the size of a 4-year-old child. That's crazy. The first time I saw that, I was like, that can't be real. But they're real.
Fruit bats.
The one at Hinsdale was like, it was the size of, I don't know, like a crow, like a little crow. It was big. It was not a tiny bat.
That's a big bat to be the size of a crow. Like it's a large
like a
bat.
Bird flying around. It was
He was eating
not
well.
Some little
it was
thing.
July.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was just as freaked out as we were. was like,
oh yeah.
fur.
No, I was gonna say I don't think we've been to the States and haven't had some animal encounter, because when we went to Wildwood, whatever fell down the wall by you was something.
Oh.
That it was probably a mouse, but it sounded like it was a bear. It was horrendous. And I'm laying in this little like cubby area. And first of all, the whole night, do you know Wildwood Sanatorium?
No, I don't.
Yeah, okay. So it's a very, very scary place. And we were all very terrified. And it ended up, just out of like 9 people that was supposed to go, it ended up just being myself, Rachel, and her partner, Jay. And we're all camped out, huddled together, trying to sleep / not dying in the middle of the night. And so I'm laying in this little cubby by a window, and I'm not really sleeping, but I got my earplugs in, or my earphones in, listening to like a show just to not die of fright. And I can hear scratching next to me on the wall, and then and I felt like the bed move, and I take my earpods out, and Jay, who's sitting next to me on the floor, he's like, did you fucking hear? I'm like, hear that? I heard it. I felt it. And there's just like I don't know, like a curtain in some little, what used to be maybe a closet. And I'm like, I'm not moving that. There's something in there for sure. We have no idea what it was. It might have been a squirrel or a raccoon, because we saw both of those hanging onto the side of the house. But it was loud.
I was sleeping.
And to be honest, that would have been more terrifying than a ghost at that point, I think. Having some wild animal rip its way through the wall at me. I'm like, But it was,
raccoons
it was
are vicious.
Yeah.
I think even a squirrel would be at that point. It'd just be like, you're like, it would be chaos.
I'd still be asleep.
Yeah. You would still be asleep. You were still asleep when that happened. You were like right next to us on the air mattress.
Listen, I'm tired. Ghost,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I feel you. The Conjuring house, it wasn't that scary. The hype was not there, but there was some things that did happen, and I still just was like, it was like midnight, I think, and we had until like 8:00 in the morning, and I fell asleep, and then I was woken up. Everybody got bored, I guess. Nothing was happening, but like, everybody's like, you fell asleep in a haunted house. And I was like, there's nothing happening.
Yeah, I was tired. What do you want me to do? But see, that's the thing. There's so much hype about some of these places. And while some nights can be crazy, insane activity, there's a lot of nights
Absolutely.
that are super quiet. And, like we say, ghosts and spirits aren't performing circus monkeys. They're not going to, dance to the little red light when you tell them to.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's how we go into our investigations and all that when we're doing them as a team. And we also go in with a lot of research. So if activity isn't happening like the way that, it's hyped up to be, we can dig into something different and maybe see if that prompts maybe a little communication or something like that. So yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. I think the people that really do like research on a area place that they're going to investigate it, I think that produces a lot of cool, like, maybe not necessarily scary or anything definitive, but I do think that there's like something, it provokes something that tends to be fairly interesting. And
you also have to remember too, is if someone was to come up to you and say, hey Kevin, how's it going? And you're like, oh, I don't know you, but like, you'll have more apt to having a conversation because you feel more familiar, because right? So that's how we do it. So I do like 99% of the research for our team, and I will go as far back as I can, and including who owned land before anything was built there, right? So I'm doing a very comprehensive, like, deep dive into all of this kind of stuff, regardless of the information. It doesn't have to be spooky. It's just all about research. And I think that kind of sets us apart from a lot of other teams who just show up and go, we're the ghosts, right? So, we tend to do it as a more personable, approach. And sometimes that yields some really crazy, communication. So it works.
That's cool.
And I think, like you said, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, like you said, if you can put a name to that disembodied voice, that in itself, like imagine being a ghost and you lingered around for, 100 years and no one's paying any attention. And then people come in and they're like, hey, we know all about you. We know that you had these children, or this is your spouse, or this is whatever. They are so much more inclined to then engage than if just people walking around with devices being like, show yourself, or whatever. I don't know. So, I mean, her research is impeccable. There's so many times we've gone to places, she knows more about the place than the people who work there or own it, or the, curators of the place. And they're like, can I get a copy of those notes? Because like, they're so, the way she goes back, hundreds of years sometimes to before the building was even on the land. Like, it's amazing. So that really does set us apart. And it really does, I think, create that bond between us and whomever maybe we're speaking with. And it's also righted some misinformation that's out there about certain people, certain things. It's helped some of the spirits that we talk to move on or move through things that have happened. Like, it's important, I think, when you've got the story correct and you're not sensationalizing it or fabricating it or going off on a tangent. We've been to a few places where they're like, oh my God, you guys are amazing. The last team that were here, they were full of shit. They were like making stuff up and they had no idea what was going on. And they were like ridiculous. So it not only helps us, it also makes us, very professional when we're out. And it gives, I think, credibility to who we are and what we do.
I would agree 110% on that. That's amazing. I like that. I wish I had time to do that kind of research, because I definitely would. But I ain't got the time.
I have a great job that allows me to do stuff when it's not busy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. I think that I don't even think that a lot of like the people on TV really do that, to be honest.
No, they have people that research for them. So we have worked with TV shows. Not gonna lie, we have.
Have you?
I did work Canadian TV shows, nonetheless. I did way back in the day. We worked with Ghost Trackers when they were first out. We've done the Marilyn Dennis show, which was a Canadian show. We did it twice. A whole bunch of other stuff. We worked with Honda. We did all that kind of stuff. But recently, so last year, I worked with the CBC, so the show Ghosting, which I think is now airing in the States as well, and it's on YouTube. And, I had to help them with their research. They had no idea what they were doing. I had to help them with the research of the one location that I was filmed for, but then I also had to help them with another location that they couldn't figure out the research from. So that kind of shows you how these TV shows do research. They just have these assistants in office, most likely interns, who reach out to 1,000 different paranormal groups to ask questions. That's the research.
Or they go
oh
on
my God,
Wikipedia.
that reminds me. So, a TV show on Discovery reached out to me. I can't even remember. Expedition X, maybe it's called. I can't remember. So I went out and I did an investigation in the Huckamuck Swamp, which is a part of the Bridgewater Triangle, and they happen to be doing for a couple episode series on the Bridgewater Triangle, and they called me, and I was expecting, like, I was under the impression, the way that they talked to me in my email, that I was being interviewed for the show. and they just asked me a whole bunch of questions about my experiences. I told them all about my experiences, and then I never heard from them again.
That's what they do.
So,
not gonna lie.
Yeah. So when my friend Carrie she posted about the episode coming out, I messaged her. I was like, I was supposed to be on that show, and they contacted me, talked to me, and then I never heard from them again. She goes, "That's interesting. I heard that from a lot of people." It's like because they were just gathering information, and now that just what you just said just like totally solidifies it for me.
That's what they do. That's what they do. They gather everything that they can to put something together, and then off it goes.
Yeah.
But that's how they have to do it, right? And they don't want 100% true stories, because sometimes it's really hard to sensationalize and make something up for it, right? Because you have to remember, they need the viewers or the likes or whatever, because they need to be paid for what they're doing. So they need to make sure that whatever they're doing is, engaging, right? People need to realize that what they see on TV is never usually how it goes. We've only had maybe 1 or 2 locations where we walked in and we were like, if we had seen this on TV, we would have thought this was complete bullshit. But, happening to us in real time, we were like, but, 8 hours of filming may give you 20 minutes of usable stuff for TV. We filmed with the Marilyn Dennis show for 3 hours and got 5 minutes. That's how much they used, was 5 minutes.
Wow.
So that's just how it goes.
Huh.
That's the wonderful world of TV, which is why we don't have a TV show, because one, I don't want to do that, because I hate recreating something, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to walk down that hallway 6 times just to be like a ghost, right? That's what happens in the end, right? You can only act so well for so long before you're just done with it. And I also am not signing over all of my stuff to somebody so they can use for themselves. That's my stuff. I'm not giving it up. I've done it for 20 years. Nah. I will help you, but I ain't giving it up.
Amen. Amen on that.
Right? Because it seems to be like everybody's end game in the paranormal field is to get a TV show. Right? Like there's nothing else to it. They just want that fame. They want that, recognition. And it's just like, nah, I don't want that. I want the recognition, sure, right? But I want the recognition for the good stuff that we do, and for the things that we bring up, and the stories that we tell, and the way that we make people feel when we investigate and all that kind of stuff. I don't want recognition for my face being plastered next to Zach Baggins on Discovery Plus. I don't want that. I will go there.
Dude, I remember when he first came onto the scene. I was in high school, and me and my ex-girlfriend used to watch TV every night after school. We'd not every night that we did this, but a lot of nights we would order Domino's, sit down, eat our pizza, and watch TV. And a lot of times she would turn on, we watched ghost stuff, like ghost hunting, and we watched Taps with Jason Hawes and stuff like that. So I think I was a junior. This was like 2006. So this was when everything was brand new. Zach Baggins' first show came out around this time. And he had the stupid hair with the Tom Hardy frickin' t-shirt. And I was like, who the fuck is this tool bag? And I just remember him like, he's like, I've got muscles and the ghosts will talk to me. And I was like, oh my God, this guy is such a, like, I'm sure he's probably a nice guy in real life, don't get me wrong, but the first time we watched like half of the first episode that he ever put out, and I was like, this show's not for me. No, I don't like it. And it was him. It wasn't anything that was going on. It was just his face and his voice, and I was like, I don't like this. Just don't like it. So, no hate on him or anything. He's obviously doing super well for himself. He has a museum and shit, and still has a show going strong. 10 years now? 20 years now, almost 20 years. So,
He's still exactly the same.
He's just put a hat and glasses on now.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, the mask.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking mask. Oh man. So, have you ever? So, Rachel, I know you said that like nothing really bothers you, but have you ever had an experience that gave you goosebumps, like that kind of frightened you at least a little bit?
Not really. Type of person that I will get anxious, and then for some reason I know something's gonna happen, but in the moment I'm the one that's standing there going, what? I don't know. I don't think I've ever had one where I was like, I need to leave. No, I don't think so. I really truly don't. When I
That's
think
cool.
about everything, I just can't think of a time where I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a panic attack, like too much is happening. I just don't. I don't know. Like we were even when we were at Hinsdale the first time, because it's in the middle of fucking nowhere. Literally, and there's no streetlights. Because you are in the Appalachian, like that part of the mountains. I don't know, is it whatever, Appalachian, Appalachia, whatever.
Well,
I'm Canadian.
Here in New England, we say Appalachian, and then the further south you go, it becomes Appalachian. So it really doesn't matter.
I'm Canadian. I'll just say in the bush.
Good. Yeah, there you go.
But like we had this random car like drive up, and they're like, "Oh, we just wanted to look at the ghosts," and it was like, I don't know, I didn't see who was inside, but it was like two guys. And our retired police officer was like, I don't like the looks of these guys. Like, we really need to be careful. Meanwhile, Kaz is in the kitchen grabbing scissors because she's terrified. And I'm just like, whatever. Just random people.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm a fucking rabbit.
People are scarier than ghosts.
Yes.
I'm with her.
I was getting something to protect us, and there's literally nothing. There's no knives and forks, nothing. So I found an old pair of rusty like shears. And that's what I had to defend the team. You're welcome.
It's just like, it's fine, whatever. Wasn't even too proud of that. Now, if a bunny was outside and hopped out in the dark, I probably would have shit my pants. But,
scared of bunnies?
Well, wildlife in general, I hate it. I can handle ghosts, okay. I can handle weird people. Wildlife, I'm not a fan of. Like, even deer that just pop out of nowhere will terrify me.
But you weren't scared of the bat?
No.
Well, now I don't believe you.
In all fairness, you were fast asleep and were just woken up to chaos. True. So I don't think you got to see it swoop in front of your face.
Oh, no, I felt it. I remember feeling the... But yeah. No, I don't, like I said, I can't think of any time where I was absolutely like, oh my god, I am freaked out. Have I gotten goosebumps and stuff? Yeah, but it became more of a, wow, this is kind of cool, like, I need to know more. Give me my notes. So, that's my experience.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. I wish that I was, I guess not really that I'm not brave, but there's been a few instances where I'm just like, burn this fucking place down. I've had several of those moments. I was like, we gotta burn it down, get out of here. Get the torches. Throw them. But Kaz, have you, what has been your, I'm assuming if a bat is one of your scariest moments, that there's more. So
that was scary, but funny scary. So recently we went to a place called the Beck House, which is about 2.5 hours north of where we live. So it's kind of out, not necessarily in the country, but it's a ways away from civilization. And it's this beautiful, massive house. And the owner of it, she lives on the main floor. She has tenants in apartments on the second floor, but the top 2 apartments she rents out to paranormal investigators because of the activity there. So we had both apartments, and the whole team was there doing an investigation, but just due to circumstance, there was only going to be 5 of us staying over. So I decided I was going to stay in one of the apartments by myself. And Rachel and Jay were staying with another couple in the other apartment. So I'm all big and brave until I get into the bed. And bear in mind, the whole night we have had a lot of activity in this one apartment. So within, I don't know, a few minutes of me getting settled, I hear doors slamming and people like walking back and forth. So I message Rachel. I'm like, what are you guys fucking doing? And she's like, we're all in bed. And I'm like, no. Then I can hear someone in the apartment, like in the kitchen, like rustling around. And I'm like, fuck this. Then I hear a door slam, someone come down the hallway, and then I had locked the front door. They were trying to get in. I could hear them turning the door handle and pushing the door. So I'm like, what do you guys want? So again, I message Rachel and I'm like, this for real? You guys are here. Like, this is bullshit now. What are you guys doing? She's like, I think Chantel and her husband are asleep. Jay's next to me on his phone. She's like, no one's there. And I'm like, I can hear a man and woman fully having a conversation. So Jay got up and I think he looked in the hallway and he's like, no one's there. So I'm like, anyways, shit my pants. And I think I grabbed my shit in like 3 seconds flat and was out. It was a lot. And later I found out that some other team members who have been to that place before had exactly the same experience. They actually captured on audio someone jiggling the door and then entering the apartment and a man and a woman having a full conversation when no one was there and it was locked and it was verified that there was no one in the apartment, which I didn't know before I volunteered to stay there by myself. So that was the most recent holy fucking shitballs moment for me. Yeah.
That is a holy shitball
it's
moment.
Pretty scary.
That is.
Yeah.
100%. I would have ran. So.
Yes. I mean, there's been a few times where we've been out, like I was chased down a hallway and body checked Rachel out of the way. Something was coming at us.
Holy shit.
Like what?
And yeah, I actually captured it on, I was recording. And moments before that, one of our team members had been scratched. And I actually captured one of the most interesting pieces of evidence we've caught, which we did not see at the time, thank God, because I think we might have all run out at that point. But yeah, we were leaving the area that we were going to, and I was bringing up the rear, and I heard someone running behind me. I just ran and pushed Rachel, and she's like, "What?" And she gets squished against the wall. I'm like, "See you later. Good luck." Yeah, it was pretty terrifying. And again, Rachel's just like, "What's going on?" Oh, poor Rachel.
Whatever.
So you didn't see anything, you just heard footsteps coming up behind you or somebody running.
Yeah.
The sound of somebody running.
Yeah. It was a series of really weird events. Like I said, Ryan had been scratched, and then we had all these voices coming through like 3 separate devices that were all correlating with the scratch, and it was getting really
Oh my god.
a bit to the point that we were like, this doesn't seem right. Like it was 2 men and a woman. They were kind of mocking Ryan for being scratched, and they were talking about they were going to scratch us, and it was getting a little bit worse. And we were like, I think we should leave. So we're casually just strolling out, and then jump down the hallway after me. We were like, it was pretty crazy.
I definitely would have ran too. I definitely would have ran. I think my house here is haunted, but I don't want to investigate it. I've told them to leave several times now. And I try to make eye contact with the camera, and I keep fucking forgetting that it's down here. God. So, like, the last thing that happened, and I don't want to tell my girlfriend this, but I go to bed a lot earlier, and because I get up at 1:30 in the morning for work, and I was laying in bed. It's like 7:30 p.m. and I feel somebody sit at the edge of my bed. And I felt this before, like when I first bought this house. I had lost my uncle not too long before I bought this house, and when the first time it happened, I had the sensation that it was him. So I just assumed that it was him. But this time, it didn't feel like anybody. There was no like, oh, it's Uncle Keith. He's just here to say everything's okay. And this time, it was just wait, somebody sat down, and I thought it was her. And then I just kind of like, and they weren't moving, and I just turned my head, and nobody was there. So I start kicking my feet, and I'm like, go away. And then I just kind of like lay there again, and I'm laying there. And then I feel it again, and I'm like, and then I just kind of like turn out of the corner of my eye just to make sure that it's not a person. And I start kicking my feet. I was like, I told you to go away. Get the fuck out of my room.
The worst part is if you were kicking and you felt something solid.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? I wouldn't be here anymore. I wouldn't be here right now. No, thank you. I like investigating, and I like being scared. I think that's one of the things that draws me to the investigating, because I didn't even consider investigating until I went on vacation to Florida, just me and my teenagers. This was before I was in a relationship. And we went to Florida, we went to Miami, and there's a paranormal group called Paranormal 305. I've become really good friends with them, and they took me out on my first ever ghost investigation, and I've been hooked ever since. I'm like, I gotta do it. And I just haven't had the time to do it, but I want to so bad. And then to have things happen in my own house, I'm just like, ah.
Yeah, it hits a little differently when it's your own home.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't run the equipment in my house, but I tried years ago, and the only thing I got out of the Obulus was hello, and that was it. I haven't gotten anything else ever since. So I was like, well, this is pointless. So yeah.
Yeah. I turned on I guess it's GhostTube, but I don't know if I trust it 100%. It's just an app on your phone. I don't know if you know about it or not.
Oh yeah.
But I turned it on one night. I was laying in bed, and it said downstairs, and I was like, okay. And like I whispered, and I was like, what's downstairs? And it said, find out. And I was like, what? And then it said it's coming. You have to, and then it's giving me like full sentences. It's not just one or two words. It's like full sentences. You have to come find out. You have to see, and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm shutting this off.
We run, so on the podcast, Kaz has been running the Spirit Talker app from Spotted Ghost.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, it gives some pretty good responses to things. Sometimes like you always wonder if your phone's listening to you. But like sometimes it gives you really interesting replies to things that we're talking about. Or Kaz's lovely friend
Chester. He's actually at the other end of the couch right now.
No, he's listening.
Because I haven't put him downstairs yet. Because my daughter was visiting and she was sleeping in the spare room. She's like, get that fucking thing out of there. I'll bring him over. Let me get him.
Oh boy, it's a doll, isn't it?
Well, so it's somewhat of a doll. I didn't know this thing existed. So when we went up to the Beck house, I'm driving and I'm like, why the fuck do I hear jingle bells in my back seat?
I don't know.
It was in my back seat.
He's very good.
I don't blame your daughter. I don't blame your daughter for not wanting it in there.
He's been joining us on the podcasts, and we have the Spirit Talk app going, and he full on responds to us. The very first episode, I was like, hi, can you say hi, Chester? And it says wave, like he's waving hello. And at the very end, we're like, well, Chester, do you have anything else to say? And it says, bye-bye. And I think both Rachel and I shit our pants. And then the next episode, we're like, Chester, you're back. What do you have to say for yourself? And it's like, fuck. We're like, okay, we're off to a good start. But he's a pretty interesting guy. But
Where'd
we've
you get
had
him?
some fun at a thrift store. I was in there wandering around, and he was like buried at the bottom of a shelf. And I pulled him out, and I'm like, oh, yes, he is mine. And my son was with me, and he's like, what the? And I'm walking around carrying this thing, and people are staring at me. A, because it's big, and B, because it jingles. He's full of like jingly bells. And my son's like, are we seriously just gonna buy this thing? I'm like, yeah, he is coming home with us. And so now he lives with me and terrifies everyone. But he's fun. He hasn't murdered me yet, so that's good. I think he likes it.
Keyword, yet.
Yeah. I'm hoping for the best, but if I do die mysteriously, blame Chester because it's him. Just that face right there tells you everything. If you see that on a mugshot, he did it 100%.
That thing is terrifying.
Yeah. But
I have a fear of dolls.
Oh. Whoops.
No,
yeah,
it's okay.
Ryan on our group does not like dolls either. So when I actually debuted Chester at that house, I was just talking about where I got scared in the apartment. So I brought him out, and Ryan's like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, this is Chester. He's coming to investigate. And Ryan's like, no, not a fucking chance. I think he actually got up and left. Went to the other apartment because he didn't want to be in the same place as Chester. Oh, poor Chester.
I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So but I have a couple of different funny dolls. I took actually to Hinsdale.
Oh, okay.
I have I don't know, probably like 12 inches. It's a nun doll. And we took her to Hinsdale because Hinsdale, of course, the entire house was exorcised. So we're like, oh, this would be fun. And as soon as I brought it out, the Ovilus went, oh, and like, just like that. And then the cat bowl started going off. And we're like, fuck, maybe this was a great idea.
Yeah, we just
everyone's like, yeah. They're like, why do you bring this woman with us? But I'm like, look what I got with us today. And it's some other weird doll that I have.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We like our trigger objects, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it gives you good feedback, I guess, or whatever the word you want to call it, whatever word you want to use for it. It's I know there's a ton of people that use dolls and stuff that bring on investigations because it helps. I don't know. It's like if there's a spirit attached to it and it's familiar with you, when you go somewhere with it, they're like, hey, spirits, I like this person. Let's come talk to them. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out.
Or they're like, hey, spirits, let's fuck with these people.
I feel like if I was a spirit, I'd definitely be fucking with some people for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I feel like, why is that not happening more? I don't know.
Because they probably are, and people are terrified of it.
Yeah. Or they're just like, yeah, I can go anywhere and do anything and be anywhere at any given time. Why? Who gives a shit? Yeah. Like, maybe it's that. But I think I would fuck some people around. I would.
I got a list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet.
No.
So I assume everybody in the house is cool with your dolls. Because I would be like,
I mean, For the most part, Chester has to be downstairs in the spare room. So they don't see him. I have a lot of kind of cool, witchy, creepy stuff in a corner down in the basement. Everyone's just used to it now. When I first moved in with my boyfriend, his children who are a little younger, I'm like, okay, brace yourselves because I'm about to get weird. So they were kind of just like, what the fuck is all this stuff? Like I got voodoo dolls and things like that. And they just know and they're just cool with it. They're like, have you gone on any ghost hunts yet? And we've got a few, like we've been in a few little kind of local documentaries and stuff. So sometimes they brag that, oh, she's on YouTube and whatever. So they're cool with it. They're cool with it now. Probably in a few years when they're teenagers, they'll be like, oh my God, fuck, whatever. It's weird. Yeah, whatever. But right now, so like my stepdaughter's into it. So she's like, can we play with your equipment or whatever? Until it actually starts doing so and like becoming way too familiar. So here's a funny story really quickly. We had Spirit Talker on once and it was like, we're watching you from your window. We're in your bushes. We're buried outside. And then it was giving a bunch of names. And so the stepkids are like, freaked out. So I jokingly sent the screenshot to Rachel. And the next day she's like, so I've researched your land and your house. And the names that came out actually were people who lived there and they're buried in the cemetery down the street from you. And one of the people died probably right where your house is. And I'm like, what? So that was quite funny. Yeah, it was great. I'm
That's
like,
wild.
Oh shit. So I never told the stepkids that, but every now and again they'll ask and I'll put the equipment on and then it scares them. And I'm like, but also I'm like, oh, okay. So it's great.
That's funny. That is great. That's hilarious.
My kids were over because they're older. So they were over the other day. It's my daughter's birthday yesterday. So they came over and I had Chester out and we had him talking away. And they were just like, okay, like what? Great. Mom's new fucking haunted doll. They're like, Jesus Christ. And then this is true story. Chester was actually sitting right here next to me. And my kids are like just being dicks to each other and they were play fighting. I'm like, will you guys knock it off? And for no reason at all, Chester went, boom, and like he committed suicide, essentially is what was trying to happen because my kids were just pissing him off, I think. He just forward face planted for no reason because he has bendy legs. So his legs were hooked and he just was like, fuck this cruel world. And just like, he tried to kill himself because of my children. So, yeah, he might be after revenge now. I don't know.
Oh my goodness gracious, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So another question that I had for you guys was, what has been your favorite place that you've investigated?
Ooh,
thinking of the vault of my brain here.
I know, and there's
you got
so
20 years worth.
Many.
Yeah.
Even just in the few years that I've done this now, I can't even imagine how many you have, Rachel. I don't know. It's a toss up. So Wildwood Sanatorium, I've been, how many times? 3 times now. I think I've been there.
Yeah,
and
I went 4.
Yeah, I honestly could go there again and again and again. I love it. And we did investigate another place in Canada, not too far from us, which we're not allowed to mention at all. But it was one of those places that from the moment we walked in, all hell broke loose. And it was so insane and so intense. Just like Rachel said, you would never believe it unless you were there yourself. Just the things that happened. So we did go back. We were invited back and they asked if we would go back and do an investigation, but with some of the staff, because the first time we went, it was just us, the team, with one staff member who stayed with us. And I guess she told everyone what happened. So then people are like, bullshit, we need to see this. But when we did that, it was almost like the house turned off.
Yeah.
And I think it was because there were a few, I will not say what I was going to say, people who were on with us that the spirits were like, fuck this. And as soon as those people left, because they had to get shuttled in, so when they left and we were packing up our equipment, oh my God, equipment's going off, things are moving, voices, footsteps, and we're like, where was this 2 hours ago? And I swear it was just because of the people. So I'd like to go back there to do another private investigation, because there's so much stuff we just weren't prepared for and didn't get to really explore. So I would say the place we cannot name would be a top one.
I don't even know for me. I really, truly don't. I have so many, because we've been given so many opportunities to investigate so many historical places, right? Maybe for me, my favorite would probably be Fort Henry in Kingston, Ontario. So it's a National Historic Site, and we got the whole place to ourselves and one security guard. So we had free reign pretty much of everywhere except for 2 spots. So they don't even offer that anymore. And Ghost Hunter, so TAPS, did come up and investigate that location, and we did it before they did it. So that's how old we are.
Damn, son.
Yeah, so that would be one of my favorite places, but I don't know. I really like Wildwood and Hinsdale too, right? So it's hard.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I've had some pretty interesting experiences at Wildwood, things that I can't even understand or explain, right? We've had footsteps and hearing voices and things moving and loud banging that, it's just every time we go, it's something different, right? So it's never the same, which is kind of interesting, and it's kind of alluring because you just never know what you're going to get when you show up.
Right.
But yeah. So I think those are mine.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever been to a place where the same things happen, but I also rarely go anywhere that's haunted. Well, that I know is haunted. So I can't really say that, but I feel like if the same thing is always happening, that's kind of weird, right? That would be would I guess that's not really weird, because that would just be like a spirit stuck in a loop.
Yeah, it'd be residual.
Yeah, really, that's what I meant.
Really, you have to remember, at that point, it's really not a spirit or a ghost. Technically, it's just a playback of a past event, right? It's just repeating itself.
It's just energy.
It's stamped in time. Right.
Yeah.
So,
have you ever seen an apparition, like a full body or anything like that?
I have, yes.
Yeah. Where?
And I wasn't even investigating.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, when I first moved out, I lived in an apartment in the south end of Oshawa, so that's where I live in Ontario. It's actually right beside General Motors, the plant. So I remember it was a small little apartment building. It was 3 floors, no elevator. We lived on the top floor, and I went down to get my mail, and I came back and I was looking down, and I opened the door to go up the stairs. And before, obviously, I went up the stairs, I looked up because I thought someone was coming down at me. And there was this little boy standing there, and I could still see him in my mind. He was wearing these short, brown khaki style shorts, and he had his little suspenders and his little newspaper boy hat. And I went, what the fuck? And he disappeared. Gone.
Shit. He disappeared right in front of your eyes?
Yeah. I just blinked and he was gone, and I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow.
It's really, I think, the only time I've ever seen. Well, no, I did see Noble. I did see another gentleman when we were investigating a pioneer village that we spend a lot of time at. First time there, sitting in a dark room in a little old, pioneer log cabin. I got myself, I got my team member Allison and a previous team member with us. We're in the dark. We're doing a ghost box session. We're sitting on the floor in the bedroom on the second floor of this little pioneer house. And there's this closet, and it doesn't have a door. It's just like a door frame, and it's like open. And there's like nothing in there. There's like a dress or something hanging to the right. And we're asking questions, and I look up, and I just see this man. And I can only see him from like the waist up, and he's got like the tweed brown like army jacket on, and I can see like it's like this yellowy brown color. He's got broad shoulders. He's got blonde hair. He's got blue eyes for some reason. I knew that, and he's got a baby face, right? Like he looks definitely younger than he actually is. And he just smiled at us, and then he's like, ah, and then he was gone. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I come to find out that it was actually the son of the people who had lived in the house. So his name was George Noble Milburn, and he died in the First World War overseas. So, and I have a picture of him, and he looks exactly like what I saw. So I was one of those holy shit moments.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen anything else. No.
Kaz.
I know I saw the old man that haunted my house where I grew up in. But I tend to get like visions before we go to places, and then they sort of become like when we get there, I'll be like, oh, that's kind of what it was. So one of the most distinct ones before we went to, so I don't like to know anything about where we're going. So then the energy can just speak for itself. I don't want to ever get to a place and be like, oh, I feel something on the stairs, but I already knew something happened there. I just want to know when I get there and let it speak. So about a week before we went to this beautiful house that's now a museum, I was actually in the bath and I'm chilling and I open my eyes and there's a like young woman in front of me. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, they took my baby. And I'm like, what's happening? And she's like, they took my baby. And she showed me, she's like in this like kind of half kitchen on a table. There's like a old kind of midwife matron with her. And she's like, he hides behind the wall and comes through the door in the wall. And I'm like, what? And then she's telling me like, there's other girls here and sometimes their babies cry, but my baby didn't cry. And I'm like, what is legitimately going on right now? So I tell Rachel this, and Rachel's like, I don't know, because she knows already the story. And when we get to the place, we get a tour, and the house has changed slightly, but it was a doctor's. 4 doctors actually lived there at some point, but it was like the front was their offices and the back end was their home. And so we're in the old kitchen area that is now their gift shop. And so the lady who's giving us the tour, she's like, oh, this big bookcase here, behind there is a secret doorway that led into the other room. And I'm like, holy fuck. And none of us would have known that. And it's like boarded up now, obviously on both sides. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And the story was that there was a doctor there that would do abortions. It was not a sinister place. He was just, he would help young girls out. They would either do abortions or they would help deliver the babies, and then they would kind of smuggle them and adopt them out to families that were looking. Like, it was not a horrible place that did horrible things. He was just there to help out because girls got in trouble, and he did whatever he could. But I had no idea about this. So that's more what I see as opposed to when we get to a place. I did see a pair of legs walk through the kitchen when we were recently on an investigation. And at the same time, one of the other investigators was like, what? And I'm like, did you see a pair of stocking? It was like kind of from the knees down. It was stocking feet, like just walk through the kitchen. And she's like, I just saw a woman. And I'm like, what is happening? So I don't know why I only saw her legs, but I didn't get to see the whole thing. But yeah, that was really strange. And that was clear as day. Like I almost feel like I heard her walking across the carpet. But it was the strangest thing.
That is strange.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see like solid looking apparition. I've seen some weird like apparitions and shadow figures and stuff, but that's like one of my favorite questions to ask people is if they've seen apparitions, because I mean when people have, it's very interesting. Like yours, like you've seen two different people in two different times from two different time periods, and then yours is kind of, look, I seeing legs is fucking creepy. First of all, I would probably leave it around, to be honest with you, but
Yeah.
but that's pretty interesting. So you kind of have like premonitions a little bit, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I guess. Sorry, I have to grab my charger. My phone's like, I'm dying. Yes, that's I think what I would say is that. And it's funny because there's another team member, Allison, her and I, we tend to have the same premonitions, and we'll both tell Rachel without telling each other. So Rachel already knows. She'll be like, "Ah, ha, ha, ha." And then we'll get to the location, and Allison and I will share our stories, and they're like spot on. It's really interesting.
That
I
is
don't know
super
why
interesting.
we share the gift together, but yeah.
I don't have no gift. Well, I guess my gift is the research, but
I was gonna say that's your gift.
I don't get those like feelings or thoughts or anything like that. Oh well.
Well, the research is a talent, I would say, but I've had dreams where they've happened years later, or kind of, sort of. I think, and I can only think of one, and it wasn't anything significant. It was just pretty like lame. It was just me going back to a job that I didn't want to go back to. And I was like, I woke up. I remember, and the only reason why I remember it is because I woke up and I was like, that's never going to happen. That's the only reason why I remember it. And then I remember, like, I was doing what I was doing in my dream, and I look and I see exactly what I saw in my dream, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Uh-oh. I'm still...
But
I'm here. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
I'm here.
Well, I can't. We are over an hour, so I can let you guys go if you want. So, but I do have. I love asking this question at the end of every show, and it is. Are you? I mean, I pretty much can tell just by the way you guys talk. But are you guys finding fulfillment in what you're doing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
In a weird kind of way, I guess, if you want to say. I think it's definitely when you do the research and you can match and validate, that's kind of what keeps you going. For me,
Absolutely.
at least.
For sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think a huge part of what Rachel has done building this team is that we bring the history back to life. So a lot of the places that we investigate, in turn, we are generating excitement again about places. So there's a few pioneer villages around us that were kind of on the brink of maybe having to close because no one goes to pioneer villages anymore. Even school trips, they don't care really to go. And so because we started going, and then we'll start doing public events there, and now we've got this kind of creepy factor or just the historical factor about, the ghosts. Now they've started to come back and more people are going. And I kudos to Rachel and the team, because
that's dope.
That's sort of, like it's really nice to see that and to know that we're being a part of bringing history back and getting people excited about it again. And as Rich was saying, with the history side of things, dispelling some of the myths that are out there about some of the, ghosts or stories, because that would be horrible if you're gone, you've passed away, and there's these untrue stories about you and you don't have a voice anymore to correct that. So a big part of Rachel's research can help to dispel those myths and, bring the truth out, which I think is very healing for the energies that we encounter.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's pretty cool, though. The to be able to bring these places, give them some new life, I guess, so to speak. You know what I mean? That's cool. Good on you. I like that. I love history. History was my favorite class. Was my favorite subject in school. It was the only class I really passed in high school. Other than that, I was kind of like a dead fish in the water. But
I think most of us were in high school, at least our age group.
Yeah, for sure. But if you guys don't mind, one last time, letting the two people that listen to this show, let them know where they can find you and all your stuff.
Yeah. So you can listen to Pair A Normal podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio if you're in Canada, or Amazon Music. And it is Pair A Normal, so EH, because we're Canadian. So it's PAREHNORMAL podcast, and you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and we even have TikTok, so you can find us on there too. YouTube as well. You can watch our podcast if that's more your thing. But yeah, that's us in a nutshell. And if you want to know more about the Paranormal Seekers and what we do, you can visit www.theparanormalseekers.ca.
Dope. I like it. Guys, go check it out. I'm gonna I definitely gotta check out your investigation stuff.
Yeah, there's tons of stories on there, so you'll be on.
I love that shit. Sweet. I don't have to wake up, or actually I do. Shit. My daughter has wrestling. Anyways. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to join me. Time is our greatest currency, and the fact that you guys chose to spend some time with me means a lot to me. So thank you.
Thank you.
And then you guys are dope. I love your energy. You're a lot of fun. So
yeah,
but
we're pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not lying. I would agree. So
yeah, we have fun.
But for the listeners, you do, dude. I don't even get me started. It's a weird thing when I feel like I'm having such a good time with somebody when just in conversation. I'm like, I'd probably hang out with this person. I feel like that with you guys. So that's pretty. To me, that's dope. And where just to have a conversation over the internet on fucking video camera for the first time ever, and it's like I'm talking to an old friend. It is the best. You're the best kind of person, both of you. That's all I gotta say.
Perfect. Well, if we're out that way
for the
on
listeners,
an investigation, we're like, bring you along.
Yes, please. Please do it.
We're gonna need to find a really big location at this point because we keep inviting people.
I know, and we're gonna have to have an RV just so that we can travel around and be like, "Get in, loser! We're going ghost hunting."
I have an RV.
It's meant to be.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
All right. So real quick for the listeners, if you don't mind, like, follow, share, subscribe, definitely go check out their stuff. And like, follow, share, subscribe, leave ratings and reviews for all their stuff, as well as mine. But if you don't feel like doing it, I'm just happy that you're here listening and or watching. But if your podcatcher doesn't allow you to leave a rating and review and you want to do that, you can do so on the website where the Weird Ones Are podcast.com. That is also where you can get merch like the shirt right there. And there's a ton of other designs in there as well. There's also hot sauce, coffee, and supplements, and some short stories that I've written. So go check it out, please and thank you. And if you don't, I'm not going to know if you did or not anyway. So have a good time. I hope you guys have a good day, good night, whatever time you chose to listen to this. And remember, question everything and stay weird.
In the quiet of the night, when the world feels far, there's a voice through the static, like a falling star. It calls the misfits, the dreamers, the ones who see the shadows in the corners, the truth we barely believe. From the pine tree woods to the desert skies, they talk of ghosts and aliens with wonder in their eyes, not afraid to ask the questions that others won't dare, 'cause the world gets strange when you stop and stare. Come gather around where the weird ones are, by the fireside glow or a midnight car, where the stories run deep and the secrets fly like owls in the dark or stars in the sky. If you've ever felt lost, like you don't belong, you found your place, you found your song, right here where the weird ones are. They'll talk of cryptids, time slips, and deja vu, of spirits that linger, and what might be true. But more than the monsters, it's the people you'll find who dare to be open with curious minds. It's not about fear, it's the thrill of the ride, to question the world with wonder as guide. So pull up a chair, let your freak flag fly, we're the seekers of truth beneath the sky. Yeah, come gather around where the weird ones are, on the moonlit thoughts and cosmic scars, where the veil feels thin and the questions burn, and we chase the strange at every turn. You're not alone, not in the dark, you're with a tribe. You found the spark right here where the weird ones are. For the ones who wonder, for the ones who know, welcome home.